a workplace and they're doing drugs and stuff, or you work around that, what do you do?
You can answer that after the meeting. You can ask him after the meeting, and then you can discuss that further, so that we can stay on time. Okay?
Thank you. Okay, our next speaker is Tony. Tony will be blessing us today from the Advanced Communications Manual, Persuasive Speaking, the Effective Salesperson. Tony has already completed his first module, Make Them Laugh. Tony's working on his second module in the Advanced Communication Series. Tony?
This is a three-part project, and so it's about a little longer than normal. It's going to start with, I'm going to describe effective salesperson techniques, and then there's going to be a role play, and then we'll do a short review afterwards. Okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is describe how a salesperson can be effective. First thing to be an effective salesperson is the greeting. Are you going to be grumpy? Or are you going to be happy? So you want to have a smile on your face, and you want to greet this person that's going to enter your store or whatever the situation is, and make sure that you greet them like you're glad they're there. Okay? That's very important. The last thing you want is a grumpy salesperson. Puts you in a grumpy mood, right? The next thing, which is the second most important thing, is what I call discovery. Instead of showing them products immediately that you want them to buy, why don't you find out what they want, why they're there, what is the purpose of them coming to your store or your place of business. And I recommend starting with fairly broad, open-ended questions. For example, why did you come to the store today? How can I help you? Things like that. Sometimes they will tell you a lot. They'll tell you, that's all you have to do is just ask those questions, and they just start going into all kinds of details of why they're there. Some people aren't so forthcoming. Some people have their guard up. So you have to drill down a little deeper. You have to ask some more questions. If they just say, oh, I'm just shopping, well, that doesn't tell you a whole lot, right? You want to know what they're shopping for. So you have to ask some more questions. Well, specifically, why did you come to the store today? And then when they'll eventually, most people will start telling you little bits and pieces. You just kind of have to keep pulling it out of it. But what you want to do is get them to talk. You don't want to be doing all the talking as a salesperson. You want your customer to talk. That's how you learn what they want. And then what I find a big mistake a lot of salespeople make is they don't listen. They do all the right things up to that point. They get the customer talking, and then they're not listening. You have to listen. And the worst thing that you can do when a customer talks is interrupt them. Do not interrupt. If you've done all the right things, you've got the customer talking, don't interrupt them. I was in a meeting the other day with one of my salespeople. The customer immediately started talking. We didn't even have to try to get him to talk. And he started interrupting and asking questions. Oh, don't do that. That's the worst thing you can do. He did it twice. Thank goodness the customer was patient with him and worked through it. After you find out what they're looking for, restate what you've learned. Repeat what you think they've told you, so that if there's if you misunderstood something they say, they have a chance to correct you. And you have a chance. And then after that, once you've kind of understood, you need to make a recommendation. Now that might take a little longer, depending on the product and the number of things that they told you. You might have narrowed 100 products down to 10, or you might have narrowed 100 products down to 50. You still need to keep narrowing it down and find out what they want. But once you find out what they want, make some recommendations. Don't make them try to figure it out. That's why you're there. You're the sales consultant. Now, most books say ask for the sale. Most of the time you should. The worst thing you want to do is walk away and not ask for the sale. I had an example this Saturday, though, where I did not ask for the sale. I did what's called a presumptive sale. I never asked that customer to make a decision. You know why? Because she was struggling with it. She was looking at a vehicle that was more than her budget, but it was the right vehicle for her. We'd gone through all the fact finding, all the discovery process. And I knew if I asked her, I might not get the answer I wanted. So I just continued through the process. I said, while you're thinking about it, let me just go ahead and start this order. And are you gonna finance or are you gonna pay cash? And we worked through the process, and you know what? She's driving that vehicle tonight to Kansas. So I did not ask for the sale. Most of the time you want to, but you've got to be able to think on your feet and read the customer. All right, next we're going to do a role play. I'm going to ask Mr. Joe Yoder to come up. Joe is visiting my store today. Hello, sir. My name's Tony. How can I help you today?
Hi, Tony. Yes, I am looking for a radar detector.
A radar detector. You come to the right place. We have a lot of radar detectors.
Wonderful.
Let me ask you, do you have a radar detector right now?
No, that's why I'm here.
Okay. Why do you want a radar detector?
Stinking cop in Kansas and I got personal the other day and it cost me $150.
Okay, so now you realize there's a reason to have a radar detector. Have you done any research on radar detectors yet? Where do we?
A little bit. I have Escort and some other brands. I've looked a little bit into them, but I don't know much, so I need some help.
Okay, okay. Have you looked at a budget that you're wanting to spend yet, or are you sure about that? Or do you want the best radar detector there is to keep them from catching you next time? Is that your goal?
Well, I don't want one that won't catch them.
Let me explain the trade-offs that you have here. So you can spend a low amount of money and get a radar detector that has a lot of interference. The problem with that is it picks up a lot of false signals. And so it goes off a lot, but it's not always a police radar that's making it go off. Sometimes it's just a garage door opener or another car that's driving beside you that has radar for adaptive cruise control or lane departure warning. So
Really?
those are annoying. I had one of those. I got rid of it. I bought a better one because it was going off all the time.
Okay.
So I have a couple of them that I have in mind that I would recommend.
Okay.
If you want the best that money can buy, I recommend.
What are we talking about money-wise, sir?
Well, you know what? It's normally $5.99. We have it on sale.
$600?
We have it on sale for $4.99.
$400? $500? Wow. Okay. This ain't make a coffee off of it?
It has GPS. I mentioned to you a little while ago, you get these false signals.
Yeah.
If you have a daily commute where you're going back and forth to work,
Yeah.
the GPS will recognize that false signal every time you go by a spot and it'll block that signal.
An issue.
So that doesn't bother you? Okay.
I don't have to
If
travel
you
the
don't-
same route.
If you don't need that, then you can spend less money and probably get one that's just as effective for $100 less.
Oh,
It's the Model 300.
oh,
And the Model 300, since you do travel a lot, probably on interstates and highways, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Model 300 will not get those false signals. It has a better filtering system than the lower end models. And so every time you go by a car that has adaptive cruise control or lane departure warning that's putting out the same radar signal that the police are using, it won't go off on you. It'll filter those out. And it'll only give you a signal of when the police has actually got a radar going.
okay.
It has a long range,
Okay.
so you probably would most of the time know 1 or 2 miles away that there's a signal going on, a radar coming up. Do you have any other questions about it?
What kind of power do I have to run this thing?
You just plug it in your cigarette lighter. Every car has a cigarette lighter. You plug it in there.
Well, my phone's already plugged in there. What am I
We have an adapter that has an extra USB port. You can plug your phone in and you can plug your radar
okay.
directly into
Cool.
the AC port.
And are these things legal in Oklahoma, Texas, Kansas?
There's only 2 states where they're not legal, and Oklahoma is not one of them.
And what states are those?
Washington, D.C. and Oregon.
Oregon. I am not going to either of those places.
Long way away.
Yeah. Okay. And how hard are these things to learn how to operate?
The 360 is really easy because it does everything for you. The 300 is fairly simple as well. It'll go off when the radar's there. The other thing about the 360 is, the more expensive one, okay, there's trade-offs, is it'll actually tell you which direction the signal's coming from. Is it in front of you, behind you, or is it right beside you and you know you just went past it?
That's what happened in Kansas.
What's that?
I just went right by it.
You had no idea what was there. You don't have radar.
It was too late.
Yeah, this will give you lots of warning. It'll save you $150 plus all the other things. Your insurance might go up, things like that. They're a good investment.
Are they? How likely are they to be stolen out of my car?
You know what, the one I'm recommending has a mount on your windshield and it's got a little magnet, you just slide it off, you can put it in your pocket. I've brought it to the meeting with me before. I don't have it with me today because I didn't bring it today, but it's very easy to take off. You unplug the connector, put it
Okay.
in your pocket, put it in your storage bin so that people can't see it.
Okay, so it's easy to hide.
Yes.
And then, okay, who makes this thing?
Brand 360.
360. Huh, okay. Warranty, guarantee?
It's got a 1-year warranty, and we have a 30-day return policy.
Ah, okay.
No risk.
Okay, sounds great.
All right, so let's get you out of here. Let's go
Yeah.
find it, and we'll ring you up.
All right.
The credit card or cash?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Joe wasn't as tough as I thought he might be. I appreciate that. That was not scripted. That was completely. He knew we were going to do a role play, but we did not rehearse anything. All we knew that was that he was going to buy a radar detector from me, and that was it. And I wasn't even sure if he'd buy it from me, but he did.
$5.99, I wouldn't.
Didn't I explain all the great reasons? Well, he set it up great. I didn't know before we got here that you just got a ticket, so there you go. And that's the reason I own one as well. But any feedback, comments, Joe, anything I could have done differently to help you make a decision?
I think you did a very good job, and I'm a salesman, and I thought you did a good job. Your discovery was good, your attitude was good, your knowledge was outstanding. I like that you understood the differences in the two models. It certainly would have helped to have had them, but, or something, pictures or something of them, but that's the only point.
Anybody else have a comment?
I didn't hear you close it. I don't know which one he was buying. That was my only,
Okay.
the whole sales pitch was perfect.
Yeah.
You were very knowledgeable, but when it came down to the end, you didn't close it.
I didn't know which one he wanted,
Exactly.
so we would have found that out pretty quick.
Which left us in the dark.
I'd be reading up to 360 until he told me no.
We're not buying a car from you.
Any other comments?
I
Yes.
thought that maybe went a little long. I mean, he kept on asking questions all and once till it got boring about the detector. I think you were to this, if it would have been a real sales, I think you're already to that point about he asked 4 extra questions, and you were already at the point where he was ready to buy. And I think once you get into where they get boring, they just, well, okay, thanks a lot, I'll go. Because you didn't say, well, did you want to pay the money and get the more advanced one, or did you want to get the great one in the middle of the road? You didn't give him a choice of alternatives. And I would add that at the beginning of it when he said he wanted to make sure he didn't want one that didn't pick up police officers. I said, well, that'll knock these ones right out. We don't even want to talk about those $200 ones.
Right.
So now we're talking about these two right here.
Okay. Good. Fine.
I was just gonna say, when he was talking about that ticket that he got, I would have used that ticket in the presentation. I would have said, now you may pay $399 or $400 for this, but it'll keep you from getting them $250 tickets apiece.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I usually.
Because the last ticket
I
I
usually-
got was $259.
I usually bring that out and it's in my back pocket, ready to use as to overcome an
I was doing
objection.
97.
All right, thank you very much.
He gave me the ticket for $200.
Alrighty. At this time, I would like to introduce our topics